Hi everyone, today we're going to tackle the question, does D-aspartic acid raise testosterone levels? First, about me, I've been a trainer and strength coach for more than 20 years. I've estimated that I've safely broken 34,000 hours of billable time with clients and athletes. I still have some current certs of CSCS, ACSM, Precision Nutrition, USAW, and I mentored lots with the late, great Charles Poliquin. Also a grad student in human nutrition at University of Western States. Although I don't tell anybody, I've actually taken 2 semesters off at the moment. So the big question, does it work? Moving right along, D-aspartic acid is an ingredient in one of the top 5 best-selling testosterone boosters on Amazon. So it does have a good safety profile, so that's important to know. It does account for about half the space in every serving of the supplement. Now, half of that space equates to about 3 grams a day. To give you a reference of that. Just a little background first. What does testosterone do? Pretty much all the fun stuff. Helps boost energy, helps boost libido, helps in building muscle, helps muscle and tissue recover, or helps with recovery, burns fat, helps mood, helps with health. So those are all, great and fun things. It also has antidepressive effects. It helps lower aches and pains in the body. I often refer to that as old man ache. It also helps with get up and go that children have automatically. Get up and go is interesting. There is actually research on it, but when an older person tries to get out of a chair, it takes them a little more time than someone who's younger. The next thing I want to do is I made sure that I included the references for just about everything I'm saying here today. But let's get into, does the research say D-aspartic acid boosts testosterone? So I pulled a 2017 review study. The benefit of review studies is that it uses many other studies to draw conclusions. The benefit is that a review study can have a bigger sample size. So what did they do here? Let's see. 23 animal studies. That's pretty big. I mean, it's a lot of studies to choose from, but animal studies and animal results don't always translate to humans. So what you need is, well, you guessed it, human studies. So for human studies, they weren't really big in nature, but we're getting there. So what really was the conclusion? Conclusion was there was no clear evidence that it works. So I guess that's a little depressing. There's a reference down here on the bottom for anybody that wants to see. Look, I'll do a little circle because that's fun. Oval for those that want to be technical. Next, I have, so what? So it doesn't raise testosterone levels, but will it help with training anyway? I mean, for those that just want to be better in the gym. So here's what they found. Small double-blind study showed that D-aspartic acid was ineffective at raising test. Well, we kind of already established that to some degree. The study showed there was no improvement in resistance training. Okay, well, that's a bummer for those of you that have that on your shelf and you want to use that. As a little note in this study, by the way, there it is, was that one of the hormones, estrogen, estradiol more specifically, was slightly reduced, although they didn't think that was that significant. Moving right along to the next thing. Let's get down to what D-aspartic acid is. First and foremost, it's an amino acid. Chemically, it has a twin brother, a twin sister, or just a twin. I don't know if you want to be politically correct these days. The one is, L is literally pointing towards the left and D is pointing towards the right. And so it's pretty close in chemical nature, except some of the things are flipped on it. As you can see right here, you can see that the Ku group, okay, over here doesn't quite match the Ku group here in terms of like the same, and your amine group is right here, your amine group is over here. This is once again the D form and then the L form. So, that's just something, to consider. Basically, most biology, we use the L form. This is the dominant amino acid, okay? So let's go. This was referenced out of a study as well, for those that want to see it. Okay, there's a little more here on D-Aspartic acid. First, it was discovered in mollusks, and then a variety of invertebrates and vertebrates, including humans. It is thought to influence the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. This basically, it's part of the brain. Right here you have your hypothalamus, which is in the brain, sends a little message to the pituitary glands to release a chemical to come down and tell the testes to make testosterone. Okay? In the testes, it's called Leydig cells, and these are actually the cells that produce testosterone. Testosterone is also produced, via the adrenal glands. DHEA is basically the chemical that is produced. Also, the Leydig cells, by the way, is often or can sometimes be damaged by steroid use. So, that may be something else to consider or at least know about. Okay, where did they get the idea to use DAA? Okay, basically, these folks here laid the groundwork for it. What they did was they put stuff in vitro, which literally translates to in the dish. In the body, by the way, is called in vivo. So anything in vitro is less accurate than in vivo for that reason. But it's just easier to get a result from that because you have less variables. In 1999, researchers duplicated the experiment, which is kind of what science really is. You need to be able to duplicate things. And then in 2000, they found in a very similar experiment, they found that growth hormone could also be raised in rat cells. Remember, it says rat cells, so once again, that's in vitro. Also, rats have higher amounts proportionally of D-aspartic acid occurring naturally. So they did find that luteinizing hormone, which is a chemical that comes from the pituitary gland to tell the testes to make, or the Leydig cells in the testes to make testosterone. So there's all the research for those of you that want to look that up as well. Next. Well, did it ever work in humans? I mean, let's figure it out. Well, in 2009, there was a study that showed a 42% boost. So at this point, this is when everybody said, rah, 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 rah. This is time to put that into supplements and make some money, okay? So at first glance, it's it seems like a great discovery and that it probably does work. So, 42% is a really large number to boost testosterone without exogenously, or injecting it into your body. However, the study was actually never replicated, and that's a big deal. The second thing that's also interesting is that there was other nutrients given in the study. So, for example, B6 can, if it's low in somebody, it will help the testosterone or androgen receptors be more activated. And B12, through some other kind of mechanisms, will also help to regulate and influence sex hormones through the homocysteine pathway. Right here is the research for that. All right, let's find out some more. Yep, so D-aspartic acid seems to mostly not work. So some questions come up then. What about the dosing? Does it matter, how much you have? My old workout partner used to joke, if some is good, then more is better. That was used to playfully irritate a doctor that we worked out with. So let's find out. A 2015 study examined a higher dose of 6 grams a day and 3 grams a day for results in resistance-trained men. So 6 grams a day decreased total and free testosterone numbers. So I would try to avoid using that. Next, 3 grams a day had no change in numbers. I mean, nothing new there. That was pretty much the dose that was always been used. So 3 grams really doesn't work, and 6 grams may be worse. So, yeah, both are pretty much buzzkills. Research again. Does D-aspartic acid have any value in humans? Pretty much. So here we go. D-aspartic acid can increase sperm count and mobility. And what's that good for? Baby making. So if you need those little swimmers to swim a little faster and a little better and have a few more of them, that might not be a bad thing to play with. Although, it's really not the focus of the study, but you could see how if that really happens, then, maybe somebody might think that testosterone will come up too. So I also found this interesting, although not in the scope of this. I came across this while researching a lot of this material. It basically, D-aspartic acid can help with pain management and myelin production. Myelin is the covering around the nerves. A problem with myelin is it can be associated with neuropathy and multiple sclerosis and potentially fibromyalgia. So it could be useful for that. I mean, the research also showed, it was saying that baby rats had more D-aspartic acid in their brains. I'm not sure if anybody's checked humans, but it could be interesting because the myelinization process does happen. Well, here we go. Let's see. Here's the research and D-aspartic acid. Are we going to use or not to use? My suggestion is to keep it off your list, especially if you're looking for testosterone boost or strength. I'm going to tell you it's probably not going to be helpful. And surely I wouldn't go higher than 3 grams if you were ever going to finish it off in your cabinet. So anyway, thank you for that. And hopefully this gives you a little bit more to work with D-aspartic acid. Thanks.